Good morning, wild tribers. So the boys have just asked for some apples, and what I usually do is keep all the peels from the fruit and make a fermented natural probiotic drink for them. So I hadn't even thought to actually post this up. So what I was sharing them in that last night in one of the facilitators courses that I'm doing, and the girl's like, oh, that sounds awesome. How do you do that? Share the link. I'm like, I should be sharing this with my tribe. So here we go. We've got some beautiful organic apples from the organic store in Canungra. I've just got some sultanas for some extra sugar, because the more sugar that's in there, the more that it eats and the more carbonated and fizzy it comes. And some filtered water. I'll just plop this up here and take you through the process. So you just want a clean container. We go through a lot of yogurt. The kids think it's ice cream. Shh, don't tell them. So we'll quite often freeze up like excess fruit and so I've only got the 3 little ones wanting an apple. So we just peel that and pop it straight in. Don't wash them, because you actually want all that bacteria and wild yeast on the fruit. So basically what you're making is a fruit sourdough, but it's a drink instead of turning it into a bread. When you make your sourdoughs, for those of you that have made sourdoughs, well, this is the same jazz, and it's actually how you make traditional wines and things as well. I keep the apple for the kids, and throw the core straight in. I've ended up cutting that a bit. Just every bit that you would normally throw in the compost or whatever else, throw it straight into your recycle bucket. Excuse me. We're all in our jammies. It's nice and early in the morning here. You can probably hear the TV going for the kids in the background. I need a plate to put their fruit in. Okay. So yeah, because you're going to sift it all out later on, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, we just do all that, and then we're going to add some sultanas in for the sweetness. I usually add dates in. You can add herbs in as well for some extra health benefits, like thyme being antiviral and all that. And this current, oopsie daisy, that's on the floor. That can stay there. I'll get that in a minute. Thyme's a really good one for antiviral properties, especially as we are in the middle of this pandemic globally. So if you've got any thyme in the garden, really great to throw that one in. Bit of extra, they're the best apples. Bit of extra flavour. Now we just finished off yesterday, and the kids loved it, was a apple and pear one. We done the pear in here as well, and that was so delicious. And they just think it's a normal fizzy drink, because it actually tastes, it's fizzy, it becomes carbonated, and they think they're getting this amazing treat of this naughty sugar loaded thing, when in actual fact they're getting amazing probiotics. The sugar ends up being turned into carbonation because the wild yeast eats that, and they make little fizzy babies and turn the drink into a fizzy drink. So they've actually got no idea that what they're having is this amazing goodness. Okay, so it's in here. Now I'm going to put in some sultanas, and I'm going to fill it up with water. And from there, we're going to leave it sit on the bench for about 3-4 days, and we're going to burp it. And by burp it, you just take the lid and you lift it up to let that out so it doesn't go kabooming. Once you've sort of done that, and on the top, what you're looking for is, and everything must be clean to start with, but on the top, what you're looking for is bubbles and fizziness or foam. What you're not looking for is mold. If there's mold, chuck it. I haven't had mold, but it does happen. Something in the air can interact and something can happen and it doesn't come through properly. So just be very well aware that if there's mold, chuck it. You don't want that for your family. Okay, so yeah, we do that, and once we see those carbonated fizzy things with the foam and that sort of thing, from there you then get a sieve, empty the whole lot through the sieve into like a big jug or something like that. And with the fruit, I usually get 2 ferments out of it in this warmer weather. So just see how you go. When it gets too rotten, it gets a bit meh. But as the fruit's breaking down, the yeast is actually consuming the sugar in the fruit, and turning that into carbonation, and all the natural probiotics are happening. And that's all the natural good gut health that we would normally have in our diets from, our ancestors and that years ago. And for those of you who are winemakers, if you sterilize everything and do it this way, and you leave it for more than the 2 to 3 days, you can end up with some wine. So yeah, once you've burped it a few times and you strain it and you put it in your jug, you've got your sterilized bottles to one side with a screw lid, or the little clip-on lid things. Pour it into those, and then I pop mine under the sink for another 2 to 3 days. I just check it, probably from the second day onwards. I just slightly crack the lid, and if I can see bubbles coming up, I know it's ready. Pop it in the fridge. It's like making ginger beer, so you can actually end up having them explode. So be careful. Put them in a contained area. That's Mummy's cue. I am needed. Bye, Wild Tribe. Mwah.